Start a new game.
For over 400 years, the armies of Kairos the Overlord have swept across the known world. All who stood against them fell before their might. Even the Archons, women and men of immense power, were forced to kneel, chained to the Overlord's will. Now Kairos' final conquest has come to our corner of the world, and two of the Overlord's armies compete for the honor of taking our lands. The elite disfavored, and the teeming horde of the Scarlet Chorus. The voices of Nerat, spymaster and Archon of secrets, guides the fierce and undisciplined masses of the Scarlet Chorus. With each battle, the Scarlet Chorus grows stronger, as the defeated are given a simple choice: serve or die. Graven Ash, Archon of War and the Overlord's most loyal general, leads the disfavored. Though small in number, Kairos' ironclad legion has never met true defeat in open battle. Watching over the two generals is Tunon, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, eldest of Kairos' minions. Tunon brings Kairos' laws to newly conquered lands, aided by the Fatebinders, judges and executioners of the Overlord's laws. You were among the youngest of the court of Fatebinders when Kairos' armies came to our lands. How could we have known that the fate of thousands would rest in your hands?
Oh, that important. Rome, in the Northern Empire, where you were born, men enjoy equal protections under the laws of the Overlord Kyros. In the southern lands of the Tears, only men may own or captain ships, but real estate is restricted to women. Men may lease, but durable ownership of the land in the years always past is to eldest daughters or sisters. Most sons enter their father's profession by their mid-teens. Those without a profession or family lands work can find purpose by pledging service to one of the Overlord's mighty Archons. Criminals, derelicts, and others are often conscripted into the armies of the Archons. If a child cannot forge his own gain, he will certainly find one in battle. Not a lot of choices in hairstyles, huh? One will do. Not a lot of choices in facial hair either.
on the lookout.
Right. Curious.
To battle! Good work!
You learn something every day.
I think I'll choose the hunter back history. It's either hunter or diplomat. The other options don't seem interesting. Primary expert. As one of two non-speedbinders, you receive training in the arts of war, the intrigue of magic, and the inexhaustible depths of Kairos' law. Across the Northern Empire, the education of a Fatebinder is second to none. Those bearing the title are expected to read instructions and understand the economics of the realm in which they operate. Literacy and mathematics, skills rarely found on Tyranny, are essential skills in the execution of law. The older talents like speechcrafts or tactics are honed with time and experience under two nuns' guidance. Bell. Bow. The short bow is the weapon of choice for those who choose to attack from a distance, avoiding direct engagement with their enemies. Use an ability, hard shot, elbow. Delay your aim to focus on hitting the target's heart, gain additional accuracy for this attack, and leave the target bleeding. Elbow. Target your enemy's feet with a ranged attack, hobbling them if successful. I like hobble. seems like a better utility. Believing that all of his agents should be well-rounded, Tunon ordered that you receive training in a secondary combat style. Fatebinders are often deployed into treacherous circumstances, and one's ability to adapt to unexpected changes, like sudden violence or legal entanglement, can represent the difference between life, death, unarmed attack. Unarmed fighting is one of the more challenging combat styles. Damage is generally lower, but this is offset by the speed of your attacks, a good style for someone interested in being challenged. While fighting unarmed, the dodge skill is used to avoid melee attacks rather than parry. Damage or utility. Pump strike. Perform a powerful pump strike to the target's chest, interrupting them, pushing them back, and silencing them from spellcasting. Not too often you'll fight spellcasters up front, right? But I like it. This looks cool. What nice. This attribute is strongly recommended for you because of your training in short bow and unarmed attack. So I guess I put points in might, finesse, and quickness. Let's take one from finesse and one on wits. That should be good. Oh, 28 available points. Gilsa. This is good, I think. Conquest. Selecting the Conquest option will allow you to play through Kairos' conquest of the Tears, using how your character was involved in an invasion. This gives you the most control over the starting state of the game and how other factions will react to your character.
All the world has fallen to Kairos, and now the Overlord's eye is on the Tears, our home. The last corner of the world free of Kairos' reign. 2 armies, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, march south from the Northern Empire, the last realm to fall to Kairos a century prior. In the early days of 428, Kairos' armies arrive at the Gates of Judgment, the mountainous border that we Tearsmen so long believed unassailable. Unable to agree on a unified plan of defense, the various leaders of the Tears sit and wait for each other to deal with the conquerors, until it's too late.
Conquest. During the Conquest, you will decide your character's actions during Kairos' invasion of the Tears, shaping the world through which you will adventure over the course of the game. Each choice you will make affects your character and how major factions of the Tears respond to you. Your decision matters. Choose wisely. 428 are year 1 of Kairos' conquest. Lighting pieces. Very cool. The Bastard City. The Bastard City stood on the northern border between Kairos' empire and the Tears, built upon a natural harbor at the crossroads between realms. The city was a nexus of commerce. To the Tears, it was the center of all wealth. To a northerner, it was little more than a backwater trading post. Its symbolic status as a gateway to the continent made it a natural first target in Kairos' military conquest. Circumstances were ideal for you to prove your worth as a soldier in Kairos' armies. Taking this city would send a message to the rest of the Tears. Kairos' will is insurmountable. Oh. Select a token on the map to begin. Gates of Judgment. In the first major engagement of the war, Kairos' armies crossed the mountains and established a foothold. So I can be part of infiltrating the city or be part of the fort or foothold next to the city. Gates of Judgment. The armies of Kairos took the battle to the Gates of Judgment, trumpeting the opening call of the conquest of the Tears. The 2 armies, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, brought their distinctive sense of order and chaos to the assault. You went to battle alongside army whose approach best suited your strengths. Infiltrate the Tears. History would remember the Gates of Judgment as the first battle of the conquest, but the real combat unfolded with advanced units of both armies preparing for the coming war. The Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus each had a plan to infiltrate the capital city. Which army did you join? I don't like open battle. Let's infiltrate. You lent your skills to the elite disfavored scouts to capture a border garrison. Even Ash insisted that an early victory in the offense would boost the morale of his troops and diminish the haughty overconfidence of the Southerners. The oath-bound scouts identified a modest border defense and collaborated on an organized attack that would leave the enemy uncoordinated and cut off from aid. You oversaw the preparations and offered your opinions on the strategy. When the clashing of swords and spears fell to silence, followed by the cheering of disfavored scouts, you were the least surprised. I don't know what to do. Sneaking people in seems like the better strategy. You came to an arrangement with a well-connected smuggler who knew how to sneak agents of the Scarlet Corps behind city walls. The Scarlet Corps were better operatives than soldiers, and this work required a subtle touch. After accepting his deserved payment, the smuggler uncovered a long-forgotten tunnel that intersected with the sewers of the bastard city. Armed with maps of the subterranean layout, your Scarlet Corps allies fanned out to occupy various city districts undercover. They spent the ensuing weeks murdering key officials and sabotaging defenses wherever possible, weakening the tier's capital under the very noses of its leaders. Betrayal of the bastard city. Your tactics of infiltration placed you in the bastard city ahead of the main armies. Your work softened the city defenses for the arrival of Kairos forces, but you wanted a decisive gesture that would give your allies a meaningful advantage. How did you assist in the fall of the bastard city? Leaping to the shadows, you eliminated the leaders of the bastard city one by one. Spreading the word of Kairos, you converted the poor and disaffected into a hidden army of the Scarlet Corps. Once the dust settled, the army wished to bolster their troops with these sleeper cells. It didn't take much to convince the bastard cities downtrodden that Kairos was the superior power. You armed them with weapons and knowledge of a signal you would raise when the time is right. As the armies appeared outside the walls, you ignited the spark that fanned their anger into a full-scale riot. The chaos they spread in Kairos' name weakened the city to such an extent that its inevitable fall was but a formality. The bastard city settled into a new state of normalcy, with every tower displaying Kairos' banner. Your name was whispered alongside rumors of a decorated career to come. The armies divided into two fronts and migrated south. Junon sent word that you were to join the next frontier of Kairos' conquest, either as a judge and overseer of the settlement of Leviathan's Crossing, or as a war advisor with the armies advancing into the realm of Apex. Leviathan's Crossing. Deposits of iron made the settlement of Leviathan's Crossing a strategic war asset. Kairos sent a forge found smith made of exceptional skill to establish a flow of weaponry. Nonda Adjudicator sent one of his fate binders to ensure the enforcement of Kairos' law. (429 TR), year of Kairos' conquest. Leviathan's Crossing. Years ago, Leviathan the Bold founded a small merchant town at the intersection of ancient old walls. A pact between the settlers and a mercenary company meant that caravans were able to travel without fear of bandits or bane, and the town thrived in modest insignificance. Leviathan's Crossing drew Kairos' attention for the iron deposits in the surrounding hills. With the region under Kairos' control, the northern smith mages could set up workshops to refine ore and arm the disfavored with the finest weapons in the known world. The Archon of Secrets dismantled the mercenary support with a generous bribe, taking the crossing in a bloodless victory. Junon dispatched you to travel alongside Kairos' forces and bring order to the region. Iron must flow. You found a clever solution to improve production of iron weapons and armor. Kairos' smith mages worked day and night to create weapons. No one faulted their dedication, yet production was low. The plans that came to light proved divisive to the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus. On one hand, any additional manpower was needed for fighters, not forgers. On the other hand, the celebrated weaponry of Kairos' armies needed to be fiercely guarded. The Scarlet Chorus took refugees from the recent influx and forced them to serve in Kairos' military. You repurposed these individuals to haul wagons of iron for the smith mages. This proved an inconvenience to the Scarlet Chorus, who relied on their force of numbers to be effective in the field. The population of Leviathan's Crossing had swelled from the emptying of lands destroyed by Kairos' armies. Although the Scarlet Chorus fought to keep the refugees under their control, the need for production could not wait. The new recruits were assigned to haul iron ore from treacherous mine shafts, labor more befitting of slaves than Iros artisans. Though the disfavored grew stronger with the advantage of more weapons, the Scarlet Chorus diminished as their ranks found themselves with one less opportunity for growth. Pick up the armory. Since you aided the production of weapons, commanders of both armies lobbied for additional arms. They offered all manner of bribes to be next in line for a fitting session with the masters of the forge. How did you sate the lust for iron? You allowed no changes to the orderly Oh no. You allowed no changes to the orderly dispensation of iron and punished those who tried to bribe you twice. Using language that left nothing open to interpretation, you let both of the commanders know that bribery would not be tolerated in Kairos' military. That didn't stop either of them from seeking you out again, making promises of wealth and advancement if you showed special favor. Deciding that enough was enough, you ordered that both of the commanders flogged in view of their armies, letting pain and humiliation teach them where reason had failed. Control the crossing. Tragedy struck when a mercenary hired by the voices of Narat injured a forge-bound artisan, leaving him unable to practice his craft. Yunan ordered the mercenaries to leave the city in the hands of Kairos' more responsible servants. Only a token garrison could be left behind while the armies returned to the front. As the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus showed increasing tension and hostility toward each other, Yunan decreed it best that only one force control the crossing. Hold the crossing. Grant control of the crossing to the disfavored. The disfavored placed a modest garrison in the settlement of Lethian's Crossing, though the force was larger than might be needed to police the small settlement. Protecting the forge-bound ironsmiths became the true agenda of the defense force, as these magical craftsmen kept the disfavored invasion force suited in iron. Relieved at the departure of the Scarlet Chorus, the citizens of Lethian's Crossing felt they got the least of two burdens. You received word from Graven Ash thanking you for your decision. The forge-bound and their weaponry not be entrusted to the voices of Narat. With the mercenaries expelled and Lethian's Crossing under new leadership, Kairos' forces congratulated themselves on bringing order to the settlement and guaranteeing a productive flow of resources. Over the course of this diversion, the army front advanced further into the tiers. Your skills were needed in the realm of Azure, Stalwart, or the Valum's Citadel. Valum's Citadel looked more interesting. 430 TR, Year 3 of Kairos Conquest. Vellum Citadel. The Vellum Citadel was an archive and library of massive scale. Its inhabitants were known as the School of Ink and Quill, a circle of mages that, centuries ago, carved out their own mountainous refuge on lands unsettled by the other major realms. Legends said that the Citadel housed a treasure trove of arcane knowledge. The Overlord's spies infiltrated the school and confirmed as such. The time was ripe to send a detachment to the great library fortress and force the scholars to Kairos. Song of Ensnarement, Tyranny, Archon of Song, used her power to enthrall enemy mages who crept beyond the citadel walls. After Kairos' forces rounded up the arcane practitioners, the disfavored began executing the new captives before they could share dangerous knowledge. A crime under Kairos' law was the Scarlet Chorus. Punished the disfavored for executing mages bound to the Scarlet Chorus, ordering that several disfavored soldiers be given to the Archon of Song as her personal bodyguards. I'm not sure which one. The wisdom of the sages and knowledge of the Vellum Citadel was too important to silence. The disfavored balked at entering the Archon's service, but your ruling left them with no recourse. Archon Siren, delighted in having new toys to play with, and promptly enthralled her personal guard. She spotted them and camped days later, following their new mistress with wide-eyed devotion. The Spy Master's agents, a group of enemy mages, surrendered to the disfavored, claiming to be spies loyal to the voices of Narat. No one in the army could verify the claim. The disfavored, ready to interrogate the mages, but the Scarlet Chorus protested, demanding that the prisoners be given to their custody. They couldn't risk the voices of Narat's secrets falling into the wrong hands. Though it meant anchoring the Scarlet Chorus, the mages were disfavored property. They remained in custody while you reviewed claims. Let's favorite disfavored on this part. You took time poring over the mage's confiscated documents, finding no blatant messages to the voices of Narat or anyone else. You resolved to question the mages yourself. When you reached their cells, you discovered the bodies, each of them slaughtered in a grisly display. Tense discussion and accusations followed, but with no evidence to suggest a responsible party. You were forced to let the matter drop. The Edict of Fire and morale dwindled as the siege party realized the enemy would win this war of attrition. Dunan sent word that Kairos' patience had run thin. The Overlord would cast an Edict of Fire on the enemy. The parchment arrived in a slender case of engraved iron. Written on it, the words of a spell powerful enough to destroy the Vellum Citadel. You had the choice of Oh, you had the choice of when to read the edict. Reading it at sunrise would offer your enemies no warning of the devastation to come. You could also wait until sunset, giving them ample time to flee or make amends. Give 1 day's warning. Claiming they still had spies within the citadel, the Scarlet Chorus urged you to warn the mages of the Overlord's edict. Granting their request, you met with the enemy under a blue flag of peace and warned them of their doom, giving the Chorus spies and the enemy a chance to run. You confronted the mages with a warning and hoped the message was received. Hour before sunset, numerous figures were spotted fleeing the citadel. As the sun dipped under the horizon, you read the words of the edict. The earth shook and red-orange light glowed in the foundation of the sprawling citadel. Bubbling up from under the library, a torrent of lava had heaved with explosive force, gushing from windows and between loose bricks, melting winding trenches in the surrounding land. Days later, the flames still raged on. The conflagration continually fed and renewed by the power of the edict. The Edict of Fire. The armies of Kairos left the devastation of the Vellum citadel in silence. From that day forward, the Tears came to know the once noble citadel as the Burning Library. This was an undisputed loss of resources, knowledge, culture, and life, but a message had been sent. The Overlord will not tolerate defiance. You didn't have long to rest before Tuanon called you into service once more. You were one of the last to depart from the mountains, and as you journeyed off, you spotted a few campfires in the mountains. They were mere specks, dwarfed by the inferno, the last gasps of survivors, or perhaps looters from Kairos' armies bored and daring enough to pick through the ashes. Conquest complete. You have reached the end of Kairos' conquest. Do you want to continue or erase your progress and start over? Let us continue.
The year is 431, and Kairos' invasion has shattered all major opposition in the tiers. The Younger Realms, the Bastard Tier, the Free Cities. All who defied Kairos lay broken by battle, or bowed in surrender. The two armies of the Overlord, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, now control our lands. But our will is not yet extinguished. Not entirely. In the Valley of Vendrian's Well, those of us unwilling to bow to Kairos have banded together in defiance. Violating an oath of surrender from 2 years prior, we have staged a bloody uprising, murdering the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus garrison in a midnight assault. With their main forces spread across the tiers, the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus redeploy to Vendrian's Well to crush the resistance, but months pass with no definitive battle. As disagreement and discord paralyze the Archons, we bide our time and wait for our message of insurrection to spread across the tiers. The Overlord is not amused, and Kairos has one message for the Archons: crush the Oathbreakers or die. Kairos backs this threat with an edict, a magical commandment that can slay all in the valley should the order be ignored. The honor of proclaiming this edict fell to you. Sent across the mountains to Vendrian's Well, you carry the Overlord's edict to read before the Archons. As you finally make your way through the winding mountain passes into the valley, the ground trembles, and Kairos' magic seals the way behind you. You are trapped in Vendrian's Well, with Kairos' armies and the Oathbreakers. The only way to survive is to fulfill the terms of the Overlord's edict, in any way that you can.
Gatebinder Glacier, I presume. He's been expecting you. Or, Kairos the Overlord be praised. When I heard the avalanche, I feared the valley was sealed with you on the other side. The disfavored warrior claps her gauntlet to her breastplate, a traditional salute of her legion. You have gained favor with disfavored. The commander wouldn't say why the governor of Lithian's Crossing would be coming, but since we have no forges here, I imagine you're here to knock some sense into the voices of Nerat. She catches herself, clearing her throat with a smile. I mean mediate with the Archons so that we might agree on a plan to wipe out these Oathbreakers. You have gained favor with disfavored. But on a personal note, it is good to see another Harbinger. I see. By Kairos' will, most of our old invasion force still lives, but most of us have been scattered across the tiers, reassigned as needs changed. I miss those days, when there was so much battle ahead of us, so much glory still to be won. But I know the Archons are expecting you. Don't let me wax nostalgically about the old days. Can you hear the hum in the air, that glow around the rocks? The avalanche is Kairos magic. The Overlord has sealed the valley. You gain 29 lower skill experience. Skill increase. Though I can't see my characters right now. Your senses see more than mine, good Fatebinder. I do not pretend to know much about such things, but if that was Kairos magic and you're here on important business, well, you don't have to be the Archon of Secrets to guess that you're here to proclaim an edict. What does Kairos have in store for the enemy? 10 years of festering plague, an edict of twisted bones? I come bearing an edict of Kairos. Our soldiers will complete their task or die. The edict is leveled against us. Her eyes widen with fear. Her posture slackens. but the Scarlet Chorus prevents us from taking action. Why would the Overlord punish both of? He clears her throat with a sigh. Forgive me, it is not my place to question. We should have conquered the enemy within weeks of arriving in the valley. The delay reflects poorly on all of us. If we all follow Kairos' will and stop the insurrection, no harm will come to any of us. If following orders and killing the locals will save our lives, you don't have to tell me twice, and I sure hope you don't have to tell the Archons twice either. He looks at you with a nervous smile. Still, this is all coming from the Firestarter, the Fatebinder that made fire bubble up from the soil and reduced the Realm's citadel to ash. So you'll forgive me if I'm still terrified all the same. Well, you've traveled a long way. I won't keep you further. I'm sure the Archons will want to hear from you at... Her voice falls silent, her attention snapping eastward with alarm. Did you hear that? More runners, third time this week. The Oathbreakers keep trying to send messengers through the mountains to gather help from outside the valley. He points up over to the collapsed path by which you arrived. But they're a bit too late for that now. Come, let's show these Oathbreakers a good fight. A lot of stuff to go. During palm. This such close range. Just basic attack.
Will do. Take that!
That's interesting. I don't remember selecting this portrait. Oh well.
I got it.
There's so many to unlock. We should be vigilant and deal with the remaining oath breakers in the past. It seems like a suicide mission. What do the Vendrian Guard hope to accomplish? From what we've learned from the other prisoners, the runners are instructed to escape the valley and drum up support for the Oathbreakers' cause elsewhere in the tiers. The Roro shrugs. I don't know who they think will listen to their pleas. We smashed every army, fortress, and self-proclaimed ruler these low-born tiersmen have to offer. Perhaps they think the wild beasts will rally to their side. This favorite victory has soaked the tears with fear. I doubt anyone would rally to their helpless cause. My thoughts exactly. They lost this war years ago. This is little more than the last gasp of a dying people. Carry on. Root border. It's
Will do.
unfortunate.
Trouble is afoot.
Will do.
What did that do? I didn't see the target get ignited in fire.
Right. Will do.
Missed. Annie.
Right.
There we go. Don't bother with me. Go down to the pass. Trust us. The soldier clutches his guts and winces. You can see a hint of entrails between his fingers. He's wounded, and it's not trivial. He laughs through clenched teeth. This but a scratch. I've seen twice as worse 10 times over. He doubles over in pain, gagging and shivering. If you'll let me help. I said I'm fine. The soldier moans and shakes his head. Grab an ash that protects. You go on and help the others.
Can't do that. On the lookout. Can't do that.
Why can't I do that?
Can't do that.
Try and catch me, worm.
The young Scarlet Fury weaves around the Vendrian guard, attackers avoiding their weapons with fluid grace. He nods to acknowledge you. A breathless enemy soldier passes a glance to her countryman. This one's crazy, too much lead in her water. We should cut our losses and turn back.
Fate finder. Here at last. Here to join me in putting these cowards out of their misery.
He nods to the armed soldiers bearing down on her. Save something for me. For the realm of Apex charge, the Vendrian guard levels their weapons in advance.
Look at that! Future.
What's this?
Alright, let's do this. Ready for another?
Get me out of here.
I got it.
Oh yikes, that's a lot of damage.
Right. Right.
I didn't even get to see what Searing Ping did.
Phew. I can tell you didn't spend the conquest in a diplomat's tent.
The fighter surveys the fresh corpses and nods with satisfaction.
I'm versed, by the way. But there are more important things to take care of than introductions. Those Vendrian guard we killed didn't come alone.
Why are the Vendrian guard attacking now?
My guess? The Vendrian guard are testing our strength in battle, learning how we perform before they organize a real offensive. That, or they're really desperate to get beyond the mountains and couldn't wait until nightfall.
You fight like a storm. What's your role in the army?
A Scarlet Fury, one of the elite killers of our ignoble gang. You'll see more than a few of us around camp, but don't let that fool you. We're a rare breed. Most of the soldiers in the Scarlet Course are little more than farmers and children armed with rusted forks. Makes them easier to control. The voices of Nerat called his best fighters to this siege. There must be something important about Vendrian's well, though don't ask me what. The Archon isn't in the habit of spilling secrets.
Not so fast. First explain what you're doing here.
The voices of Nerat told me to intercept you at Edgering Ruins before you busied yourself solving all of the camp's problems. Guess I was too late. You're due for a meeting with the Archons, but we should handle the small matter of this ambush first.
Join the battle. I'm ready if you are.
Eager. I like that. Before we go, you might search among the remains of our fallen comrades. Wherever they're bound, I doubt they'll miss their boots, much less any rings or any useful iron they might be clutching.
You should honor your fallen, not pillage them.
If they deserved my praise, they'd be standing here taking orders. As it is, they're dead and I'm alive. The beating of my heart is celebration enough. Apparently you haven't spent enough time in the front lines, or you'd know that. For the voices of Nerat!
Oh, there's a mini map. See.
No dice.
It's a lot of enemies. Fast forward, note looking back, the Vendrian card. Warrior roars with his falcons out high. His words largely lost over the din of combat. Then aside, or your funeral will be over the side of the bluff. Seeing you squarely in his path, the soldier points his weapon your way. I applaud your bravery, but I implore you to end his foolishness and lay down your arms. Not a chance. If I surrender, I'm as good as dead. At least we can drag some of Kairos chosen along our short journey to the void. As he signals his men to charge, the sound of chanting rises from the south, drawing his attention. Scarlet Corps reinforcements, hurry. Run down the Oathbreakers, let none escape. From the red mob of reinforcements from the south, a blood chanter emerges at the head of the rabble, the ornamental crest of her staff pulsing with crimson tones, signing sigils of magic and wordlessly moving her mouth. The blood chanter scribes a series of spells into the air. A red glow surrounds the Vendrian guard warriors as the chanter's magic worms its way into their minds, blinding them with rage. Hold position, all of you. You there, keep to the path. The warrior gestures along the canyon trail, but his soldiers turn their attention to the Scarlet Chorus, roaring challenges. No, don't engage them, we need to run. His orders falling on deaf ears. The warrior reluctantly readies his weapons. How do I check stances again? Let's skewer this guy. Oh, that guy's on fire.
I never had a chance.
Deal. Heal again. Okay, change stances. He's down.
Will do. Will do.
There we go. Come quick, we have a situation on the cliffside. They have the commander. Oh,
Right. Sorry, I can't.
hi cat. Oh, it's a mushroom. What are you doing? You will draw attention to me. Throw your weapons, or will you find out how long a man screams before hitting the ravine down below? Concerned between a precipitous drop and a band of angry soldiers, the Oathbreaker warrior holds a disfavored officer at knife point. Skewer him. Worry not for me. Graven Ash will protect. The disfavored officer winces, blood seeping from the seams of his braces and cuirass. You heard the man. He plainly invited you to use that little blade of yours. What are you waiting for? Permission from your pimp? This blade, with a jerk of the knife, he slices off a clump of Rastus matted hair. If you're so eager to see your ally dead, just step closer. Release the prisoner and you might know the inside of a cell. And I'm sure that cell will have daily visits from Scarlet Chorus cats thirsty for a bit of torture. He shakes his head, pulling the captive closer. I'd rather take my chances with death. Now that's unfair, I assure you. It's more a hunger for torture than a thirst. But you are correct. We have no charity left for those who have laughed at our mercy once before. The blood chanter slams her staff on the ground, curling her fingers with a quivering hand. If you fools won't deal with him, maybe I will. Whatever you're thinking, don't. Not until Commander Drastus is safe. Athletic 30, lower your weapon, then charge forward and wrest the knife from him. The Oathbreaker cracks a wide smile as you lower your weapon. That's right, Now the rest of you, drop those weapons. With his attention on the other warriors, you dash forward. He reaches out with his dagger to slay Rastus, but your hand is already on his wrist. With a wrenching twist, you mangle his hand, dropping the dagger harmlessly to the ground. The disfavored warriors rush forward from either side of you. Tyrell barely manages a strained gasp before being hacked and impaled upon their swords and spears. Tyrell be praised. That Oathbreaker fought with the rage of Karen himself. Justice slides a trembling hand along the cutoff on his neck. Thank you, Fatebinder. I thought today was my last. From the look of it, guess they thought if they swarmed the pass, maybe one might make it out. We found a few scraps of parchment on the bodies. Justice holds out a handful of crumpled parchments for your inspection. A student of letters, such as yourself, should be able to make sense of this. Examine the parchment. Repeating the same messages in different written scripts, the parchments explain the Vendrian's guard's desire to overthrow Kairos archons and rout their armies from the tiers. The pages aren't addressed to any specific reader, but rather openly invites all who remain loyal to the younger realms to gather at Vendrian's well. Recruitment material. They were trying to bring more traitors to the fight. Well, from the look of it, we kept them from slipping out of the valley. Whatever they hoped to accomplish, I think their plan died here. The Archons are expecting you. When you're ready, leave by the gate to the southeast and follow the trails down slope for a few hours. You'll see the campfires leagues away. Can't miss it. Fine. How do I split this? Oops, that's not what I meant to do. I don't know what to do. Rebinder Aurora salutes as you approach. We are honored by your presence. Need something? First has a point. There's been a lack of cooperation here. What's this? You see a very old broken section of the wall. There's a rope hanging down that has recently been used to scale it. I remember playing this the first time and couldn't do this, so I was sad that I couldn't do this option.
Curious.
Potion of invisibility. Hail, Kairos, and glory to the voices of Narat. The Scarlet Chorus soldier nods at you, her brow furrowed in concentration. I take it you're the gopher everyone's talking about. Are you getting the lay of the ruins or just avoiding the Archons? We picked this area clean months ago. All that's left are some old stones and that prize off in the distance. He nods to the towering spire above the citadel. What do you want? Tell me about these. The cursory read indicates this merchant is granted the unlimited right to trade in a logistical capacity. When not supporting an active battle, she has the right to trade grain, copper, and olives anywhere in the tiers. Where did you get these? Arcnon bonds acquired these on my behalf from Archon Junon's agents, I believe. Her expression shows deep concern. Do you see any issue? I don't know if this is right or not. Let's save just in case. Problem, but how can that be? I paid a span's profit for the stewardship. What sort of problem is here? You have the right to trade as part of active war efforts. Currently, it would seem our armies are unable or unwilling to fight. See the problem? Oh, I see the problem. Her eyes narrow and her hand slides toward the strings of copper along the waist. Let's skip some steps in this dance, shall we? Oh, so I'm trying to go with her, I think. Or I'm just full on extorting her. He holds up a hand with a string of copper rings dangling from her fingers. A donation to the court. Call it a proper fine. Call it tribute to our protection. Just call off your game if you say yes. I'm pulling your chain. I just enjoyed watching you squirm a little. You what? A moment of shock blanches her face before a smile creeps over her. For freak's sake. For frick's sake, I thought I was in serious trouble. She shakes her head, laughing to herself. You've been around the course too long. Seems our sense of humor is rubbing off on your sense of justice. Let's see what you have. Oh, I can't buy any of these stuff. Wait, you're still alive? The prisoner says his name is Tarkus Demos. Festus lets out a long sigh, tapping his gauntleted finger to his temple. Then I don't think this is a complicated matter. He dies. His family's been a driving force in the Vendrian Guard. Killing him should demoralize whatever's left of the Tarkus clan. All must be given a chance to find absolution in service to the Scarlet Chorus. The mage points a finger at the disfavored officer, and you know full well this has always been our way. He has a chance to be slave or soldier. Only then do we feed him to the pigs. We would let you take prisoners, but you can't control them. You send these conscripts out on patrols and they never return, defecting all over again. I can't let this nonsense strategy continue. While I insist this oathbreaker to be taken to the voices of the rat, leaving us at an impasse. Fortunately, we have a fatebinder here to settle the matter for us. The chanter turns to you, an unexpected smile creeping across her face. So what say you? What should become of this prisoner? The chorus should be allowed its chance to recruit new warriors. This is the sort of nonsense that got us into the mess we're in now. If we keep showing these mongrels mercy, they'll just bite us time and time again. If it will calm your nerves, I assure you this one won't be put on the battlefield. The mage snaps her finger loudly, gesturing for her gang to listen. Make sure the prisoner is taken straight to the voices of the rat. I won't keep you here any longer, Fatebinder. I know you have important business in the valley. Rastus salutes you, his iron gauntlet wrapping against his breastplate for the glory of Carlos.
Will do. Can't do that.
Is that? Oh, there's a chest here.
Sorry, I can't.
How do I get over there? Wait, why am I getting this? I don't understand. I don't have Siren in my party. That's a spoiler. It's the holes in the wall.
Can't do that. Can't do that.
I am sad. My sub. Sweet. Bye.
Can't do that.
I think this is Pale Kite. His favorite camp. This fort was constructed slowly, or shortly after routing rebels along the valley's western edge. The Archon, Grave, and Ash directs all disfavored efforts from this location. Iros Law. Hail Fatebinder, the disfavored scout nods at your approach. Camps on up ahead, don't mind us just clearing out the rebel. I still don't understand what I've done to offend. I respect that these are now the favorite lands, and I'm happy to give the Legion a proper toll. But she's going on about trading rights. What nonsense is that? I am not allowed to trade one thing or another. It's not like I'm selling weapons to angry peasants or anything of the sort. The Overlord regulates all trade. If you lack the proper permits, your goods are forfeit. A trade permit? Well, how was I mean, to whom would I speak for such a thing? Not to us, and not our problem. Maybe march your butt to Bastard City and plead your case before Tunon. But we'll lighten your burden and relieve you of your wares first. That should make the long trek a bit more bearable. Anything to be argued before Tunon may be argued before me. Right. What's there to discuss? We should kill this mongrel, and the warrior pauses, placing her hand in front of her mouth. If the Fatebinder wishes to weigh in on the matter, a courtesy demands we listen. The soldier clears her throat, looking at you expectantly. This is a disfavored matter, but I know the ancients of the court do so love to throw their judgments around. Lethian's crossing. Well, you could rob me now and have my supplies today. The merchant grabs a flask from his cart, or you can leave me alive and have fermented honey all year long. I even know a few family recipes for painkillers and healing draughts. Certainly any army will need those. He uncorks a small ceramic vial, and the aroma of cloves and lanolin assaults your nose. Did you take me for a fool? Those reagents are rare around these parts. Are you sure you didn't steal them from Kairos forces? I don't. The merchant tenses up, his face flushing red. I don't know what you're getting at. Pick him up by the collar. How stupid do you think I am? Slow down, I'll tell you everything, just don't hurt me. I found most everything out in the forest of the valley. I keep my head low when I heard sounds of combat, then I would take a look and grab whatever wasn't claimed by the first victors. So then you stole from the disfavored dead. How else did you get your hands on that iron? The scout points to the merchant's cart. You would come here and sell us our own armaments? If anything has an owner, I will return it. But this iron would have returned to rust if left in the mud of the battlefield. The disfavored are few in number, is that not right? You need a man like me to gather up supplies that would otherwise go to waste. The disfavored will tolerate your presence, but you will pay them handsomely for such charity. I think this is reasonable. We will. The disfavored soldier clears her throat with a cough before repeating herself in a more upbeat manner. We will. It sickens me to make exceptions for this vulture, but if you'll supply the disfavored without profit, perhaps this indiscretion is for the best. It's not like our larders are overflowing. A work slave to scrounge provisions would be an asset. Thank you for interceding on my behalf. I know my life will now depend on showing the disfavored due gratitude for suffering my presence. If I must grovel a bit to earn my daily grain, so be it. Oh, that's that then. Thank you for talking down to this favorite from doing worse. Sad times we live in when making a humble living is branded a crime. You're lucky I ran across you. Farewell. Well, I'm in your debt. Swing by soon. I just need to get my wares in order and I'll be ready for business. Slow down a moment. I know we're both eager to watch the Archons bicker over tactics like a pair of magpies. I need to ask you something first. What's that? The voices of Narat told me that you've come as a mediator. Considering the course, well, I can't help but feel I'm only hearing half the story. So let's have it out. What's so special about you? I'm here to deliver an edict from Kairos. That makes a crazy kind of sense, considering how long the siege has taxed the armies. I can understand why Kairos would send you with an edict to speed things along. Have you read it? Do you know what it says? The Archons must claim Ascension Hall by Kairos' Day of Swords, or all will perish. One more thing for the Archons to fight over. Well, thanks for cluing me in. If Kairos sends any lightning our way, just tell me when to duck. What else has the voices of Narat told you? Only that I could find you in Edgaring ruins. Truthfully, I could have picked you out of a crowd. You're the only one of us who hasn't spent the last few months bathing in the stink of the Matani River. She laughs, but there's a forced nature to it. Why so suspicious? It's just a feeling I got. When the Archons are together, the air gets so taut as a bowstring. I can't help but think that no amount of compromise will get them seeing eye to eye. So why invite a mediator from Tunan's court? It doesn't add up. Why do you think the Archons are at odds? I've been with the Scarlet Chorus since the early days of the conquest, so I can say it's been building for a few years now. There's an energy about those two, like a pair of storms moving to collide. I heard that I heard tell that Raven Ash and the Voices of Narat shared some bad blood in the Northern Empire. But I don't know any of the particulars. That's absurd. If the Archons cannot put the past behind them, they are unfit to command. Quick to anger, are we? I'm not disagreeing with you, but I would take care where you speak your mind. Someone is always eager to report slander to their favorite icon. With all the power they wield, those types are not quick to forgive. I really ought to be meeting with the Archons. The war tent is just past the center of camp. She nods towards the northeast. I don't know what loyalty and fear does. One last thing. Be careful around these disfavored types. They take their work seriously, and most have suffered too many blows to the head. I can't. Man. Nope, I don't want to leave yet. Who do we have here? Step closer and present yourself. The gate guard holds up a warning hand. Go no further. You approach disfavored ground. State your business. I am Blazechar, Fatebinder of Tunon. I bring words from Kairos, words for your commander's ears. So you're the fire starter? Zevius and the companies returning from the burning library are telling some harrowing stories about Cairo's Edict of Fire. I think myself brave, but I'm happy to have been far away from it all. Must have been a terrifying honor to be the messenger of such righteous force. Go on in, the soldier gestures towards the gate. The Archons are expecting you. You'll find them in the war tent, center of camp.
On it.
I think I will end the stream. Thank you all for watching.